Leo hearts, listen closely, you will be rich. That's not just a dream, it's a calling. And this week, from October 23rd to 26th, the universe isn't whispering, it's delivering 6 sacred numbers directly into your hands. You didn't land on this video by accident. Something deeper brought you here. Maybe it was a nudge from your intuition, a quiet prayer you whispered last night, or that invisible pull that shows up when destiny is on the move. Either way, you're here now, and that means you're ready. This message is personal. These 6 numbers are more than digits. They're spiritual coordinates tuned to your specific Leo energy, ready to unlock prosperity, restore balance in your health, and rewire your relationship with money from the inside out. The kind of wealth we're talking about isn't just about having more, it's about becoming more. More grounded. More clear. More powerful in how you create and keep what you earn. And Leo, I know you've carried so much. You've worked hard, stayed loyal to your goals, and still sometimes wondered if the universe sees your effort. It does. This week is proof. That energetic shift you've been sensing? It's not your imagination. This isn't just another reading. It's a roadmap. And those 6 numbers? They're the keys. Now, let's get something clear. I'm not here to sell you superstition or fluff. I'm here to help you see with clarity, purpose, and calm that you've entered a window of divine timing. And when these cosmic windows open, the smart ones don't just watch. They move. They listen. They align. You've reached a point where the work you've done, the healing you've embraced, and the boundaries you've learned to set, all of that is aligning now with incoming abundance. Each of the 6 numbers you're about to receive isn't random. They connect to areas of your life that have been calling for attention: your body, your financial patterns, your ability to trust your instincts, and most importantly, your willingness to finally receive. These aren't lottery numbers. They are permission slips from the universe to shift. Real wealth doesn't come to those who chase, it comes to those who are ready. So ask yourself honestly, are you still doubting that you're worthy of more? Or are you ready to stop looking outside yourself and start unlocking what's already within you? That's where this begins, not with luck, but with intention. And before we dive deeper into the sequence of these numbers, I want to take a moment and say this with all my heart: thank you for being here. Every single comment, like, and subscription you share doesn't just support this channel, it strengthens the spiritual bond we're building as a family here at Eternal Mindfulness. Your presence matters. Your energy shifts this space. And it's because of you that I can continue bringing these deeper messages forward. So I'm asking you, if this message already resonates, don't just watch. Participate. Let your voice become part of this energy. Comment below and affirm it out loud: I'm ready to receive what's already mine. Say it like you mean it. Anchor the intention. Align with the frequency. Because trust me, Leo, you'll want to stay with me until the very last moment of today's video. What the universe is preparing to reveal to you is not only profound, it's personal. And if you're feeling that spark, even just a flicker, it means your time has come. Let's begin. Of all the numbers that show up in this sacred window from October 23rd to 26th, the number 7 carries something quietly powerful, a kind of internal compass that doesn't shout, but whispers. If you've been walking through life overanalyzing every decision, especially when it comes to money, number 7 arrives not to give you a spreadsheet, but to remind you, your instincts have a voice, and that voice is often the first one to speak before fear and doubt cloud the message. You see, when we talk about intuition, we're not talking about magic or mystery. We're talking about memory, the kind your soul carries. It's that split-second knowing, the gut level, yes or no, that arrives before your logic even wakes up. And in this moment of your life, especially as a Leo with a natural flair for boldness and leadership, number 7 is here to help you lean into that inner wisdom and trust yourself more deeply than ever before. Financial intuition isn't some rare gift reserved for mystics. It's something we all have access to, but too often we override it. We second guess. We seek permission. We wait for external proof. But the truth is, the biggest financial shifts rarely come from what makes perfect sense on paper. They come from aligned decisions that just feel right, even if you can't explain them yet. That's what number 7 is trying to tell you. You already know more than you think you do. You've already received guidance in your body, your dreams, your small everyday nudges. This number calls you to slow down long enough to feel your way through choices, not just think your way through them. It says, pause. Listen. The answer is quieter than you expect, but clearer than you've ever heard. It's no coincidence that the number 7 aligns with rest, spiritual depth, and deep mental clarity. When your nervous system is regulated, when your sleep is deep and your breath is steady, your mind stops reacting and starts receiving. And that's where intuitive clarity lives, not in chaos, not in stress, but in the stillness between distractions. So if lately you've been pushing hard, trying to solve everything with logic or chasing answers externally, this is the moment to come home to yourself. Carve out just 7 minutes each morning, not to fix, but to listen. Light a candle if you want to. Sit in silence. Breathe. And then say, slowly and gently, I allow my financial intuition to lead the way. That small declaration, repeated daily, becomes a frequency. A signal. You're not begging the universe, you're aligning with it. And the universe always meets clarity with momentum. Another powerful way to work with this number is through gratitude. Write down 7 things each day that you're already thankful for when it comes to money, even if they're small. A paid bill. A meal. A friend who bought you coffee. What you're doing here isn't just being positive. You're proving to your subconscious that you already live in the flow of provision, and what we acknowledge, we amplify. Now, I'm not saying intuition will replace strategy. Strategy matters. Planning matters. But alignment comes first, and intuition is your first line of alignment. Especially for you, Leo, whose fire often wants to act before feeling. Number 7 is a reminder that stillness isn't weakness. It's precision. And when you trust that inner voice, not only will you make better financial choices, you'll start seeing signs, synchronicities, and opportunities show up without forcing them. You've been asking for clarity. Number 7 is your answer. Now the question is, will you pause long enough to receive it? If this resonates, share it. And comment below to affirm your connection. Say it with conviction, I trust my inner voice to lead my wealth. Let the energy hear you. Let your future self thank you. What if money wasn't the problem, just the symptom? That's the deeper question number 14 invites us to explore. If you're a Leo, you already know the power of energy. You're wired to lead, to shine, to take up space, but sometimes, the energy you radiate outward needs to be rebalanced inward, especially when it comes to your relationship with money. This number, 14, doesn't come to you like a jackpot. It arrives like a mirror, gently asking you, what are you still holding on to that's keeping your wealth from flowing freely? Let's be honest, so many of us use money the way others use silence, food, or even overwork, to fill an emotional space that feels too uncomfortable to sit with. Have you ever found yourself making an impulsive purchase, not because you needed the item, but because for a moment, it made you feel less that empty? Less uncertain? That's not carelessness. That's survival. But number 14 is a shift from surviving to stabilizing. It reminds us that money isn't the enemy, it's the messenger. And often, it's carrying news from deep inside us. From an energy perspective, 14 blends the movement of 1, initiation, action, with the grounding of 4, structure, balance. It's about building systems that don't just earn but sustain. It's also about restoring a flow that might have been disrupted by fear, lack, or emotional spending. Financial imbalance doesn't always show up in your bank account first, it often shows up in your digestion, in your sleep, in your breath. When something feels blocked financially, it's often also blocked physically. So if you've noticed stress lingering in your gut, bloating that seems to have no explanation, or a tightness in your core every time you check your bank statement, pay attention. That's not just biology. That's your body trying to communicate with you in the only language it has, sensation. And the great thing is, once we learn to listen, we don't need to fear money anymore. We start to work with it, instead of chasing it, resenting it, or using it to numb ourselves. That's what makes number 14 so healing. It asks you to look at your habits not with shame, but with compassion. It says, let's not judge. Let's just notice. Maybe you don't need that third coffee out every week. Maybe late night online shopping isn't giving you the peace you hoped it would. Maybe there's a better way to give yourself what you're craving: stability, ease, the feeling that you're in control. Here's the shift: 14 days. That's all it takes to start rebalancing your financial energy. One small action per day. One unnecessary expense you let go of. One belief you write down and release. One new practice that reminds you you're safe, even before the money shows up. And yes, it can be as simple as writing 14 times, money flows to me through sustainable, positive channels. That might sound too simple, but simplicity is often where the greatest power lies. You're not just scriptingery rewiring. Leo, you weren't born to live in survival mode. You're not meant to constantly question your worth based on your wallet. The truth is, your light attracts what you believe you're worthy of. And when you start showing up in your financial life like someone who deserves consistency, trust Meth Universe listens. The number 14 isn't a test. It's a tool. Use it. Write with it. Act with it. Let it guide you not toward more spending, but toward more sovereignty. And if this resonates with you, if something in your chest softened or clicked, I invite you to claim this moment. Leave a comment and let me know. I release what no longer serves my wealth. Speak it. Anchor it. Let's walk the next 14 days in alignment, not with fear, but with quiet, grounded power. There's something sacred about the voice, your voice. And number 3 doesn't just symbolize creativity or communication on a surface level, it reminds you that your words shape the world around you, especially when it comes to money. It may sound simple, but every time you speak about your finances, whether it's with hope or fear, you're recasting a vote for the reality you're building. And for Leo, a sign ruled by the sun and fueled by self-expression, the energy of number 3 can be life-altering if you know how to work with it. Think back for a moment. How many times have you silenced an idea because you thought it wasn't good enough? Or bit your tongue in a conversation where you should have advocated for your worth? How often have you swallowed frustration instead of voicing a boundary, or dimmed your light in fear of being too much? The truth is, abundance doesn't just flow to those who work hard, it flows to those who speak up, who share, who are bold enough to claim their space. Number 3 is here to remind you that your voice isn't a side detail, it's the gateway. Energetically, number 3 connects to the throat chakra, your seat of truth, value, and self-worth. When that center is blocked, it often shows up as tightness in the throat, inconsistent energy, or even issues with your thyroid. But beneath the physical is something more emotional: fear of being misunderstood, fear of rejection, fear that your ideas won't matter. But here's the thing: money responds to clarity. It responds to confidence. Not arrogance, but the kind of grounded, authentic confidence that says, "This is what I bring to the table. This is what I know. And I'm ready to share it." Number 3 nudges you to stop waiting for a perfect moment or a perfect pitch. It asks you to speak now, write that email, share that idea, pitch that service, ask for the raise, launch that product. Even if your voice shakes. Especially if your voice shakes. Because it's in those raw, imperfect moments of self-expression that abundance finds a path to meet you. There's a reason this number also shows up when it's time to create. Not just art or content, but new pathways for income. The most profitable ideas rarely start out polished. They start as whispers, quick notes in your phone, scribbles in a journal, passing thoughts that feel exciting but vulnerable. That's the doorway. When you write them down, you give them permission to breathe. When you speak them out loud, you begin the alchemy of turning thought into reality. I often tell clients this: wealth doesn't chase silence. It flows toward voices that are rooted in self-worth and vision. And for you, Leo, that vision lives inside your fire, your natural ability to inspire, to lead, to light others up just by being fully you. The challenge is to trust that what's inside you is already enough. Number 3 isn't telling you to speak louder. It's telling you to speak truer. So start simple. Each morning, say 3 things you want to receive financially. Not from a place of desperation, but from calm knowing. I'm ready for aligned clients. I welcome unexpected money. I allow opportunities to find me. Then, every day, write down 3 creative ideas, no matter how small, silly, or unfinished. These ideas are seeds. You never know which one is holding your breakthrough. Let this be the week you speak more courageously, share more openly, and write like your future depends on it, because it does. And if this speaks to something in you, say it out loud in the comments. I speak abundance into my life. Anchor it. Make it real. Because number 3 has already arrived. Now it's your turn. Not everyone is meant to carry the vibration of the number 22. It's a master number for a reason. It doesn't show up to simply bring abundance. It arrives when you're being asked to build it. And not just for yourself, but for something that lasts beyond the moment, something that anchors into your life like a foundation, not a flare. If you felt a shift lately, like you're ready for a bigger kind of responsibility, a deeper level of financial stability, or the kind of grounded power that doesn't need to be flashy to be undeniable, then number 22 is knocking at your door, and it's not leaving until you answer. The energy of this number is precise. It's not chaotic. It doesn't shout. It moves like architecture, slow, deliberate, intentional. It's the blueprint of a life you've secretly longed for, but maybe thought you didn't yet have the tools to build. And here's the truth: you do. You've already gathered the wisdom, the lessons, the small victories, the quiet prayers. What's been missing isn't ability, it's permission. And this week, from October 23rd to 26th, that permission is being handed to you in the form of a divine assignment, to become the architect of your own abundance. When I look at this number through the lens of energy work and astrology, it vibrates with the force of both the physical and the spiritual realms. It connects the dreamer to the doer. It asks you to take the fire of vision and translate it into real-world systems. For Leo, a sign full of light and natural magnetism, this can be a humbling shift. You're used to momentum, to action, to leading with heart. But number 22 slows you down, not to stall you, but to stabilize you. To remind you that if you want to hold more, you'll need stronger hands, not faster moves. It's no surprise that this energy also connects deeply to your sleep. Rest isn't just about recovery, it's where your subconscious starts laying bricks for your future. The ideas that come in the early morning, the images in your dreams, the quiet nudges that surface when everything else goes still, those are pieces of the design. That's why sleep matters more than ever right now. You're not just recharging. You're downloading. Aligning. And if you ignore that, you might miss the clearest instructions you've ever received from within. Financially, number 22 is about scale. Not just earning more, but earning right. Investing in what expands your future. Decluttering what keeps your money tied to smallness or fear. Maybe that means finally looking into property, a long-term business plan, or new levels of passive income. Maybe it just means taking your finances seriously in a way you've been avoiding. Whatever it looks like, this number doesn't deal in short bursts of loot, kit deals and legacy. It's asking, what are you building that will still support you 5 years from now? 10. Who else will benefit from the empire you're starting today? This is your time to sit down with that truth and map it out. A 22-day commitment. Not just goals, plans. Not just dreams, deadlines. Choose one financial vision and break it into steps. Then, dedicate 22 minutes each night to visualize yourself already living that life, not just having the money, but feeling safe in it. That's where real wealth begins. Not in the chase, but in the embodiment. If you're still with me, that means you've already felt the weight and the promise of this number. And if that's true, I want you to comment below, I am building wealth that lasts. Let that statement become your cornerstone. Let your actions this week pour into it like concrete. Because when you take number 22 seriously, it doesn't just change your finances. It changes your future. Sometimes, the most powerful shifts in life don't start with a grand beginning. They begin with an ending. That's the quiet message behind number 9, a number that shows up not to celebrate what's starting, but to honor what's finally complete. And if you've been feeling lately like something is winding down in your life, a job that no longer excites you, a source of income that feels heavy, or an old belief about money that keeps holding you back, this number is here to give you permission to let go. Let's be real. Letting go isn't always graceful. Sometimes it looks like a slow fade. Sometimes it feels like fear. But underneath that discomfort is a sacred truth. You cannot enter a new chapter carrying the weight of a story that no longer fits. Number 9 isn't asking you to burn it all down. It's asking you to clear space, gently and consciously, so something better aligned can finally take root. From an energetic perspective, number 9 is a clearing current. It's like opening a window after a storm, releasing the stale air so light and breath can return. This isn't just symbolic. On a physical level, you might feel it in your body, especially in your liver, kidneys, or skin. That low energy, that emotional heaviness, that need to purge, it's all connected. Your body often feels the ending before your mind does. Financially, this number might show up when a source of income naturally begins to dissolve. A contract ends. A client leaves. A side hustle starts to drain more than it gives. At first, this can feel like a loss. But number 9 invites you to see it differently, not as something being taken, but as space being made for something greater. A new offer. A better opportunity. A breakthrough you weren't even expecting. But you can't hold it if your hands are full of what used to work. That's why I recommend ritualizing the release. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Just write down on a piece of paper whatever belief, habit, or attachment around money you're ready to release. Hold it with intention. Then, burn it gently, safely, with reverence. As the paper turns to ash, let yourself say aloud, "I release this so I can receive more." That moment, however small, sends a powerful message to your subconscious and to the energy around you that you're ready for what's next. Which brings us to number 41. If 9 is the ending, 41 is the first breath of the next reality. This number brings an energy of emotional expansion woven into material progress. It's not just about earning more. It's about holding that abundance in a heart that feels steady, open, and strong. Many people don't talk about how emotional money can be. We think it's all math and strategy, but the truth is, most of our financial habits are driven by unprocessed emotion. That's where 41 steps in. It encourages you to check in with your heart. Not the loud, dramatic one, but the quiet voice underneath. Is there grief you're still carrying from past mistakes? Are you holding shame for not doing enough? Are you secretly afraid of becoming someone others won't accept if you succeed? This is where emotional healing meets practical growth. 41 says, yes, you can grow, and yes, you can do it from a place of love, not fear. Now is the time to name 4 financial goals. Just 4. And for each one, choose one clear, calm action step. Something small. Something doable. And before you act, pause. Breathe. Offer gratitude. Not for the outcome, but for the chance to grow into it. Start every decision from that place, and you'll notice something. Things begin to move. Not in chaos, but in rhythm. And if what you've just read stirred something in you, let me know in the comments. Say it clearly, I release to rise. That simple sentence might be the door to a whole new world that's been waiting for you to walk in. Of all the things you've heard today, Leo, I want you to hold on to this truth. You are not chasing luck, you are what luck gravitates toward. The magnetic pull you've been feeling lately isn't a coincidence. It's alignment. The universe isn't testing you, it's trusting you. Trusting you to lead, to receive, and to become the steward of something greater than you've ever held before. The 6 numbers revealed to you 7, 14, 3, 22, 9, and 41 are not random combinations or distant signs. They are invitations. Not to fantasize about a different life, but to step into it. This isn't about waiting for permission or wondering if you're worthy. The energy has already shifted. The moment you decided to listen, to watch, to stay until now, something deep within you said yes. And that yes carries weight. So I ask you now, will you take what you've learned and apply it? Will you listen to your intuition like the number 7 taught you? Will you release the habits that keep you in cycles of fear like the number 14 showed you? Will you speak boldly and claim your value like the power of 3 demands? Will you build with intention as 22 commands? Will you close the door on the patterns that drain you like number 9 asked? And will you expand with peace and presence, like 41 knows you can? These numbers are more than teachings. They're blueprints. They're vibrations. And they've chosen you to carry them forward. Not someday. Now. This is your moment to rise, not through force, but through clarity, readiness, and gratitude. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to begin. One action. One shift. One new story you write about yourself, your worth, and your future. And now I'll ask you a simple question, one that can change everything if you answer it honestly. What part of you is finally ready to let go of struggle and receive with grace? Take a breath. Sit with that. Then let your voice meet the frequency of what you truly desire. Comment below and affirm it. I claim my wealth now. 7, 14, 3, 22, 9, 41. Say it not just for me, but for you. For the version of you that has always known this moment was coming. For the part of you that no longer wants to live in waiting. And if this message moved you, inspired you, or even made you pause and reflect, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this with someone else who needs to hear it. This isn't just a video, it's a frequency. And when we anchor it together as a family here at Eternal Mindfulness, we amplify the entire collective. Thank you from the deepest place in my heart for your presence, your trust, and your time. Your support allows me to continue showing up not just as a guide, but as someone walking this path with you. And trust me, Leo, you'll want to stay with us for what's coming next. The door is open. The numbers are clear. Your time is now.